What if I told you the American Revolution wasn't started by a battle, but by a 47-page booklet written by a nobody? Before 1776, the American colonies were a place of deep confusion. People huddled in taverns and town squares, whispering about their rights, but most were still loyal subjects of Britain's King George III. The first shots had already been fired at Lexington and Concord. Yet even after bloodshed, most colonists desperately wanted peace, not a new country. They blamed the king's advisors in Parliament, but rarely the king himself. The very idea of breaking away completely was a terrifying, radical thought. Into this storm of doubt walked an English immigrant with a dangerous idea. His name was Thomas Paine, and he had failed at almost everything in his life. He saw what others refused to, the sheer absurdity of a tiny island ruling a vast continent. So, working by candlelight, he put his explosive thoughts onto paper. On January 10, 1776, a small, unassuming pamphlet appeared on the streets of Philadelphia. It was titled, simply, Common Sense. It was published anonymously, so no one knew who wrote it. This wasn't a book for wealthy scholars or politicians. It was written in simple, fiery language that a farmer or a blacksmith could understand. For the first time, it didn't just criticize British policy, it attacked the king himself. It called monarchy a ridiculous, outdated system of tyranny, and it declared that America's destiny was to be a free and independent republic. The effect was like lighting a match in a room full of gunpowder. The pamphlet was reprinted and passed from hand to hand, from city to frontier. It was read out loud in taverns, in churches, and in army camps. General George Washington even read it to his discouraged troops to boost their morale. Common sense sprayed through the 13 colonies faster than any news ever had before. Arguments in homes and on streets shifted from protesting taxes to demanding independence. The colonists' doubt was replaced with a powerful, unified determination. The entire conversation of a continent had been changed in just a few months. Paine had given a voice to what millions had felt but were too afraid to say. He didn't just support the rebellion, he turned it into a revolution for a new world. Just 6 months later, fueled by this tidal wave of public support, the Second Continental Congress gathered, ready to make a final, irreversible decision. They debated, they wrote, and they drew upon the very arguments from common sense. The result was the birth certificate of the United States, the Declaration of Independence. Here's a shocking fact. In a nation of only 2.5 million literate people, Common Sense sold over 500,000 copies in its first year, making it the best-selling American title of the 18th century. It was as if half the country had read the same book at the same time. Can you think of any piece of writing that could unite people like that today? Like and subscribe for more stories that shaped our world.